Hey guys, welcome back. It's just a bunch of Hocus Pocus in today's build. And if you can't tell by that opening, today we are building the Sanderson Sisters house in The Sims 4. And if you are a huge fan like myself, you probably already know that Hocus Pocus 2 comes out today on Disney+. Yay! I'm super excited. I can't wait to watch it. To be honest, I'm so glad that they brought, the original Sanderson Sisters back, because if they cast anybody else besides Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker and Kathy and Jimmy, I probably would have boycotted the movie because it just wouldn't be the same without them in it. So, because of that, I'm so glad that Disney decided to just bring them back into this movie. But yeah, I'm super excited. I can't wait to watch it tonight. So if you're like me, I hope you enjoy the movie because I'm kind of nervous. I'm hoping it's really, really good, but you never know. But anything with them in it is going to be great. So yeah. But yeah, today we're building the Sanderson Sister house. I actually decided to build it in Forgotten Hollow, which is the world that comes with the Vampires pack. I know I could have built it in Glimmerbrook, which was the world in the Realm of Magic pack, but I don't know, I just felt like this world fit the builds better. It was a little bit more dark and mysterious, and I don't know, it just, with that fog that kind of rolls in and just like the dead trees, and it felt like this world would fit the build just so much better. So yeah, I decided to build it there. But if you want to move this house or place this house in Glimmerbrook, please be my guest. You could do whatever you want in your game. I know they're witches and they don't really fit in a vampire world, but hey, who's to say they can't live there? But yeah, you'll see at the end of this build, I actually, instead of doing screenshots, I did like a little, cinematic playthrough thing. I actually downloaded Sanderson Sister Sims from the gallery. I did not create them because I am terrible at creating Sims. I tried, but I failed. So I decided to just download and use ones from the gallery. So I will definitely link that creator in my description of this video. So if you want to get them yourselves, please check out their page and download them from there. But yeah, I did download custom content. I don't exactly remember where it came from because I just Googled Sanderson Sister custom content and I just found it on Google, and then I just went to whatever site it was. But it was just the dresses, I believe. No, it was the dresses and the hair, I believe it came with. Yes. No, it might have just been the dresses. Whatever. Either way, the dresses that they're in, my Sims are in, are definitely custom content. But I didn't upload them to my gallery. Only the build. This build is uploaded to my gallery. So if you want to download this build, you can find it. It's BashfulVeggie on Origin, or on the gallery. But yeah, nothing in my build is custom content. I did use the tool mod to adjust the book and a broom in the build, but it's not modded or anything, so you could just download this build with no problem. There's no CC in the build or anything, just the Sims I use at the end, but then again, they're not part of this, so you're all good. But yeah, anyway, we're just doing the exterior here. I just used a lot of browns and just dark colors. I wanted it to look a little bit more, I wanted it to look a little run down, a little abandoned, because remember, they're coming back after, 300 something years? Don't quote me on that. I have to brush up on my Sanderson Sister information. I've watched the movie countless times, trust me. I just, while I'm doing a voiceover, it's a little hard to remember certain facts. But, yeah, so I tried to build it according to, the museum-ish, look of it. So inside you'll see there's a little red carpet I end up putting, and the little fence, the little what do you call it? I think it's from the Get Famous pack. It's like the little red string carpeted, whatever the heck it is. You'll see when I put it in there. Anyway, so yeah, I was just trying to base it off like it looked like them living in it, but also from the museum end of it from the movie, because it does end up being a museum, and that's how Max goes in and, you know, lights the black flame candle and blah blah blah. I don't want to spoil the movie for you if you haven't seen it, but it came out in like 1993, so sorry. But yeah, so like I said, I tried to go from reference from the pictures and all that, but it was hard to tell completely how it looked. And again, I wanted it to be functional also, because like I said, I put Sims in here, and you know, if you're gonna use this house, you're gonna play with it, so I had to give them like a kitchen and a bathroom and all that. So I just kind of like in that back part you'll see later on, I just expand it eventually, and then I put like a little hidden bookcase door later down the road to like pretend like it's like a hidden area, but there's like a little kitchen and bathroom in the back, so it is a functional build. Your Sims can actually live in there and, you know, survive. But yeah, I know in the movie I don't think they really had that. So, but anything I used in the kitchen and the bathroom, I tried to find anything that would fit like the old-timey look of it. Like I didn't put like you know, modern day toilets or anything in there, so don't worry about that. It still goes with the theme. But anyway, we're on the outside. Now we're just adding some landscaping. I ended up doing that little pond there because in the pictures and in the movie you'll see they have that little like water mill type of thing on the side of the house, a little water feature, which I actually got that one off of Debug. It's a Debug item from Cottage Living, so I just got that water wheel, and I think in live mode, I'm pretty sure you'll see it actually spins, like it's actually functional, like it moves, which I think is really cool, and it just adds more to like the feel and the theme, and I don't know, I just love that it's actual and functional and moves and makes the build look better. So yeah, I just created a little pond tool on the side of the house so that I could put that in there and so the water could go through it. I just thought it was cool. But I just put rocks and stuff around it because I didn't want it to be too, I don't know, I didn't want there to be too much greenery and stuff, because then again, it's supposed to look kind of like, I don't know, well, it's fall, and you know, the trees are a little dead and everything, so there's not much greenery in the build. There's a lot of leaves and stuff, so yeah, I just put rocks around it just to kind of close it off and everything. But I just figured that was just like enough landscaping to make it separated, but still, you know, it look not just like a water sitting there. But yeah, I used a lot of trees also, as you saw from like the Vampires pack and everything. There were a lot of those like dead trees with just the branches and everything, because I just felt like that just fit everything better. And I jump around a lot in this build, so here we're on the inside. I just was trying to figure out where to put the staircase, and I wanted the upstairs to just be like a loft type area, so I like drew those, like I made the walls and then I cut the middle of the floor out because I wanted it to be open, like looking down into the bottom floor. So yeah, I just did that because in the pictures and in the movie you'll see it's actually a loft. They have the staircase, and you know, the bedrooms are upstairs, or the beds are upstairs and everything. And so yeah, I was just trying to just make it look more like a loft thing, but I ended up moving the stairs over because I was trying to tell from the picture of where like everything was placed, but it was really hard because like I said, it was like cut, like the pictures were different scenes, they weren't like all one picture of the whole room. So I was just trying to go off of reference and just go through my brain and just say, okay, like the fireplace is over here, the witch's pot is like here, and the book and all that. So yeah, it was just hard to like place everything and know where it should actually go. But yeah, I used a lot of items from the Halloween pack, I believe, too, like that spooky stuff pack, because like these wooden wall panels, I just felt like they looked perfect. They looked like that old rundown, like peeling, like the wood was peeling off the walls type of look, which I thought just fit perfectly with this type of build, because remember, this building is so old that, you know, the walls wouldn't look clean or anything. So I just did that. And yeah, I just built a wall back there. You saw me just like section it off because that'll be where the kitchen and bathroom are. But later on, like I said, I put a bookcase type of door so it looks kind of hidden. That way it's like separates it. But here I'm just trying to like, I didn't want to clutter this build too much because I couldn't think of like what they would actually have in here. Like I know they'd have a lot of potions and a lot of plants and stuff like witchy stuff, but I didn't want it to look weirdly cluttered, like stuff that didn't belong. So I just did like a lot of shelving with, like I said, potions from Debug in the Realm of Magic pack. I got some plants from that. A lot of candles. I put a lot of candles in here. So I just was trying to clutter it with stuff that I just thought fit the theme of this build. And that little stand right there you see with that book in it, that I believe is to hold awards, like medals from one of the careers. I don't remember if it's a military career or not, but I just figured that was like perfect to hold Winifred's book in it. So yeah, later on, like I said, it's not modded, but I did use the tool mod a few times just to tilt some things. So you'll see, I don't end up saving that book right there, but I do find another book in Debug that I end up just tilting up to sit in that case to just make it look like Winifred's book. But I am in no way good at using the tool mod, so it took me way longer than it should have to figure it out. But anyway, yeah, here I'm just, like I said, I did those like metal type of fencing around because, again, I wanted it to look sort of like the museum-ish part of it, but I also wanted it to be functional. So I do end up adjusting those a little bit to open it up more. But yeah, it is definitely functional. I play tested it. My sim Winifred was able to use the witch's cauldron and all that. Everything was functional. So it'll be fine. That those won't get in the way. But yeah, here I'm just adding, like I said, like the red carpet, because I felt like that's like what it looked like in the movie when they walk in. It's on like a little red carpet museum type of thing. So yeah, I just wanted that. And here, like I said, here's the tool. This is where I use the tool mod, and I just found this book. I think it's just a base game book, I believe. I don't think it's from any of the packs, but I just felt like it looked old. The writing in it just looked like old scripture, whatever you call it. It just kind of looked like perfect. So I just figured I would tilt that up and just stick that in the case, and that could just be like her, book. But yeah, the top part, I just added 2 beds. I was gonna add 3, but these beds that I wanted to use, I couldn't find. I was trying to find beds in their colors, so I used like purple and green, but I couldn't find like an orange, red, whatever color one. So I just ended up doing 2 beds upstairs, but that's okay because technically, Winifred's bed is actually in the basement, her bedroom. So I didn't create a bedroom in here. If you want to add a bedroom, if you want to add her basement bedroom, feel free. But yeah, I didn't do that in here. So yeah, I figured 2 beds was enough. Funny enough, I believe it was on TikTok or Facebook. I actually saw that you can rent the Sanderson Sister house from the movie on Airbnb. Like, you can go there and stay there. It's in Massachusetts, I believe Salem, Massachusetts. So I just thought that was really cool that you can actually rent their house and stay in it for like Halloween or whatever. I was like, oh man, I wish I could do that. I mean, I'm not like that far away from Massachusetts. I'm probably a couple hours, but I don't have the means of going there right now. But that would just be so cool. So if anybody gets to do that, please let me know in the comments because I'm so jealous. I would love to do that. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, and in that video, they were showing how Winifred's bedroom was in the basement, like through a little lift door. So I was like, it's alright that I didn't add her bedroom because technically I didn't put a basement in here. But yeah, so yeah, here I just did the kitchen. I used a lot of items from the cottage living pack. Like, I just felt like they looked old, a little bit like worn, a little bit scratched up and stuff, so I figured that was good. Now that I think about it, I believe there is a stove oven type of thing that has like the wood underneath, like a wood burning stove, which I'm kind of kicking myself right now that I didn't use that, because that would have fit this build so much better. But unfortunately, I didn't use it. I mean, you can always swap it out, but I completely forgot about that, and that just would have looked perfect in here. But unfortunately, I'm thinking about it after I created the build. So, oh well. But yeah, like I said, I put a lot of candles and stuff in this build because those disc lights that I put in here were just so I could see while I was building, but they get deleted later on, and I just used like the hanging lights with like the candles in it. I forget what pack they're from, but yeah, I can't think of what pack they're from, but I just felt like they looked perfectly because they just had like the hanging candles. So yeah, those I used, and then I figured since it was like a little dark in this build, I would just put like a ton of candles in here because back then that's what they used, was just candles. So I just figured if I just overly clutter it with that, it would just fit perfectly. But yeah, so on those shelving, I just put like a lot of potions from the Realm of Magic, and some of those plants, those little like roots and stuff were from the Realm of Magic too, because I figured those would like look good on the shelf to go with their potions. Like maybe they use those to make their poisons or whatever. So yeah, I was just trying to put anything in debug or anything clutter that I could find that would fit perfectly. And that little table and chairs, those chairs I believe are from the Eco Lifestyle pack. They're like the ones you can create, like build yourself, your Sims can make them. But I had debug on, so they came up like in my thing. So I just felt like those fit perfectly for this world because they just look like put together and built, not like something that would be too modern. So yeah, I just wanted to use those chairs. But yeah, now I'm just putting in like a lot of, like I put in a lot of those, like that floor water stains, I guess they are. I'm not really sure what they are, but I figured they looked good because it, like, you know, it looks like there was like goop and stuff on the ground. I don't know. But yeah, that and like the spider webs. I put a ton of spider webs in here because obviously if you watch it and you know, like there's just like a ton of like gross like spiders and it's like overgrown like and stuff. So I just felt like those from the vampire pack, like even these wood, like the wall parts like on the wood where like it looks like the paint, like the wood paneling peeled, and it's just showing the exposed wood. I just felt like those were perfect for this type of build because it just shows that this building is old and run down and kind of falling apart, and like those like nasty like water like stains on the walls, and I don't know. And I think the scratches, like those type of scratches on the wall, those might be from the cats and dogs pack, but I just felt like those were perfect too. But yeah, I was just trying to find like items to put in here. The mop and the broom hanging, I believe are from the Realm of Magic pack, and I believe they are functional, that they can actually fly on those. I haven't played with that pack too much, so I'm not like 100% sure, but yeah. So I felt like I had to hang those on the wall because, you know, they're witches and they fly on brooms. So yeah, and that little sign out front, I stuck there because, like I said, this is supposed to be like also like a museum looking thing, so I figured that was like the, you know, like the sign that they hide out front, like behind in the movie, that just like has like all the museum type of information on it. So I just found that in debug and thought that was perfect to stick in front of the tree. But yeah, we're back to the inside, and like I said, I was just trying to find anything to clutter up this, so I just put like a bunch of like wooden crates, and I hung a bunch of those like plant type of things from I'm not sure what pack that's from. I honestly can't remember, but yeah. But yeah, I didn't want it to look, like I said, overly cluttered with like stuff that just didn't fit in this type of build. So I was having a hard time. So a lot of it's like the same items, like the potions and the candles and all that. But I honestly didn't know what else to put there, so that's what I did. And here, this little upstairs area, like I said, it's just the 2 beds, but I had this empty space, and I know from like the pictures and what I can remember from the movies, they had a lot of like bookshelves and stuff like that upstairs. So I figured if I would just put this like little seating nook area with like their bookshelves, like I found these, I don't know if these are base game bookshelves, I think so, but they just looked a little bit more worn and used and a little older, so I felt like those fit perfectly in here. So yeah, I just did that, and then I just used the same red little chairs that were downstairs, and I just put those up there so they could like sit and read. And then I found, like, I believe it's also a base game, they're like these little lanterns, like those little ones like with the oil lanterns, I guess is what they're called. They are perfect for this type of build. They're like exactly the type of lighting I was looking for. So I put like those on like the table up here. You'll see me put them on the table downstairs. And the bedside tables have them. I just felt like they were like the perfect little lamp to put in here for lighting. So yeah, I was just like, oh, that's perfect. But yeah, so I was just like adding a lot more of like the scratches and all that kind of like wood peeling and everything upstairs that you just saw. I was just trying to make it, look old and run down. But here I'm putting in these wooden posts. I believe these are from the outdoor retreat pack, because they were the ones that looked the best. They looked the most wooden and realistic type of posts, so I wanted to use those. And then I just took this like fencing type of like, I guess it's just like fencing. I wanted it to look like wooden posts going across the top, because I didn't want it to just be like an open, like I just didn't want the floor to look open. It looked weird. So I figured if it looked like there was like wooden posts going across to hold the structure up, it just made more sense and it just looked more realistic. But I couldn't figure out what to, like, there was no like thicker like wooden post type of fencing to use. So I just used this thin one, and then I just used the wooden post on the bottom against, like, holding it up from the top, so it just looked like something was holding the top floor up from the bottom, and it wasn't just floating, because I obviously didn't want it to just look like it was a floating loft. But yeah, so now we're just like just getting on to a couple more decor items. Like I put these curtains in. I think they're also from Cats and Dogs. Yeah, it looks like it. I don't use those a lot, but I just thought for this build they looked more, I don't want to keep saying old, but like that time period. Like they just look like something that fit that time period. And they looked a little, like, I know the Halloween curtains were actually ripped, but they just looked too, like, gimmicky, like too Halloweenish, like too fake. Like I didn't feel like they fit right. These looked a little bit more like, they looked a little torn to me, like they were like a little bit more run down, but they still looked like nice. So yeah, I just wanted to use those curtains. But here I was actually thinking about putting like a skill building type of like item over here, but then I was going through all those and I don't know, I wasn't gonna put an art easel, and there was just nothing really that fit this type of build that was really skill building besides like the witch's cauldron and stuff like that. So I just decided to put more shelving on this side with some wooden crates, because I figured like maybe storage, like they hide stuff in these wooden crates. So yeah, I just filled up that space with that and like more candles, and then I just tried to find like little clutter items that just would have fit. So I found some from like Debug, like the cottage living, those little pails up there, and that like little scale, and that cool, like, I think it's like a vulture, like that skeleton vulture head type of thing. I don't know, I just thought it was really cool. So I figured like he fit like the theme. And then I found like a little Debug well that I just thought would look really cute under the tree. So I put that out there. And this little skeleton, I probably shouldn't have added him to this build because I'm not sure if he really fits it, but I just thought he was really cute. And I don't know, I just thought witches and like, you know, I'm sure they end people. So I just thought like the skeleton would just be like a cute little decor item in the corner. I hid him behind like a little crate box so he's not like in your face. But I don't know, for some reason I saw him and I was like, I'm just gonna stick him in there. But yeah, I'm just cluttering it up. I added some paranormal stuff like that candle up there and these little candy jars. They had the colors like to match them, so I figured that I would just stick some of those in there because maybe they're not candy, maybe they're like little poison jars or something the witches have on there. So I just figured like those clutter items fit. But yeah, here I just added a couple like tombstones that I found in Debug under that tree because I just thought they were like cute and they just kind of like added to the theme. I don't know. But Yeah, and then I used the tool mod again to like flip another broom, like standing up, because in debug it's actually laying down. But I just thought it was like a cute other like little broom to add, you know, like the witches fly on the brooms, and there's like 3 of them. So I mean, I could have just added another one that actually worked, but I just thought this was really cute. And then underneath the broom you see that like little hole in the wall. That's actually from Cats and Dogs, I believe. And like a little rat or mouse comes out and like runs across the floor. I guess it kind of like freaks your Sims out, but I thought that was really cool because, like, you know, in the movie it's like her lucky rat's tail. So I thought it was like just a cute little extra nod to something that goes on in the movie. I was just trying to add like little Easter eggs, I guess, in a way. But yeah, in this corner I found like this cute little like bench just to stick in here. I mean, I guess I could have just added the flower arranging bench maybe to give them like another thing to do. Like, I don't know if it's skill building, but I don't know. I don't think it would have fit. And I like this one with like that like crisscross like wooden back and like all those like hanging plants that like match the ones that were on the wall for decor. I just felt like this one like went with the whole thing. And then I just stuck some like poison bottles and like, I don't know, more potions and like a little witch book and stuff just to make it cluttered and look like it's like used. And then I stuck a couple little pumpkins underneath just because, you know, we're like in a fall, it's like a fall type of Halloween build, and I don't know, I just thought they were like cute, and you know, maybe they use pumpkins for their spells. You know, you never know. But yeah, this build, like I said, it was a lot of just like clutter items and a lot of like decor items because I just didn't know what else to fill the spaces up with. I didn't want it to be empty, but I also didn't want it to be overly cluttered. I was just trying to find stuff to fill spaces. But here, yeah, this is where I swap out the door. I put this like hidden bookshelf type of door because, like I said, I wanted the kitchen and the bathroom to just not be like in your face and just kind of like be separated from the whole thing. But yeah, so I use that. And now we're back outside. I found this like wooden fence in debug. I believe it's cottage living. It's all like broken down, like there's pieces that like where the fence broke and stuff, and I just thought that fit perfectly with this type of build because, like, you know, that's so old and it's so like it's not really kept up with. I mean, I guess since it's the museum it kind of is, but I don't know, I figured it's still an old rundown building, and I just thought that fencing looked perfect with like the broken parts and the wood all over the ground. It just looked really good. And then here, this is where I end up expanding it because I realized when I pulled out the bottom where the kitchen is and everything, I forgot to pull the top out. So you'll see me adjust upstairs later on because that reading nook area is going to have to get adjusted and changed. But I'm just adding like all these like overgrown vines and stuff, I believe. Yeah, they're from the vampire pack. I just wanted to look overgrown and like just like that it was being taken over by vines and everything. And like I said here, I ended up expanding this top part, and I was like, oh, I don't know what to put up here now because I moved the bookcases and all that over to the left side. But I could not think of anything to fill this space with. So I decided to just keep going with like the museum type of theme to this build. So I found like this wooden workbench like type of table, and I just figured I would fill up with a bunch of like clutter items. Like I put that little sign up there, that little pedestal. So it was kind of like, you know, like a museum type of sign thing. And then like I found stuff from like the paranormal pack and like vampires and I think Realm of Magic, some of it. And I just figured I would clutter this table with like a bunch of like knickknacks, I guess, just to make it look like, oh, this was like stuff from the witches that they used. Like maybe this was like their, you know, I don't know, like the items they used on people and like to cast spells and to like, you know, turn people into whatever. So yeah, I just wanted this to look like kind of like a little museum area, like a little like just a little, I don't know, whatever. Like an area that just showed what the witches did. But then I just like filled it up with like a bunch of wooden crates and like broken wood and stuff just to fill in the space. But yeah, here I'm back to that little graveyard area. I found these other tombstones in debug that looked a little bit more older, like scratched up and like dirty, and it kind of looked like maybe like the names were like rubbed off, like because they're so old, like it's just not, you can't like read the tombstones anymore. So I just felt like these worked perfectly for like the little graveyard that I added here. And then I just added like a bunch of like dirt around it and stuff to make it look overgrown. Later on, I'll put in like big like dirt patches that I found in debug, like piles of dirt underneath them to make it look like maybe like they buried bodies in there or something. I don't know. I'm not trying to like be gross. I just thought it like matched or whatever. But yeah, and then I end up like doing a lot of like grass, like in debug, like you'll see like this whole area is gonna be like overgrown grass and just that kind of stuff, because I just wanted it to look a little unkept, I guess, but like I wanted it to look not fully like unkept, but like enough where it was like, I don't know. Just like I didn't want it to look like, you know, anybody was really taking care of this area, so I just made it like really look run down and overgrown. But yeah, here I'm just adding like a bunch of like vines. I believe these are from the vampire pack also, and I just wanted to add to like a little bit of greenery to this build so it didn't look completely dark and like dungeony looking, even though I know like it really is like a dark build and it's supposed to be like scary and stuff like that. But I felt like if I added like these green vines from the vampire pack, it just added enough pop of color to just make the build look nice and stand out, but not too much to be overpowering. So yeah, that's why I wanted to add those. And like I said, here's the grass that was in debug that I found, and I went wild with the grass. I literally put it like all over the ground because I just felt like it looked good, and it looks like, you know, they haven't mowed the lawn in years and the grass is overgrowing and it's just taking up the whole area. And yeah, I just felt like I was gonna run wild with it. And then I found like those, I think they're leaves, I believe. They're not like piles of leaves, but they're like this brown, crunchy, like dead kind of leaves that like fell off the trees. So I thought it would be really good to put around the ground, like under, especially under the dead trees that have nothing on top of them. So it kind of looks like the leaves like fell off the trees and like were like dying and rotting on the ground. I just felt like it like worked perfectly. But yeah, that was really all I was going with. But yeah, we're getting to the end of this build now. So I might do more like Halloween like type of builds if I can. I kind of might actually want to do other builds from Hocus Pocus. So I mean, if there's anything you guys want to see me build, please let me know in the comments, and I will try my best to build, you know, what I can. But yeah, we're just getting to like the end of this build. Upstairs, you're just gonna see me put in like a couple more like clutter items in this corner just to fill this space. But yeah, again, this is up on the gallery. The name is BashfulVeggie on the gallery. You can follow me on Instagram too if you guys would like. And please like and subscribe to this video. I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Spa, Kitsune, Travoy.
Jusha, Dernoy, Dernoy Plus, Inabash,
Valerie, Jamila Wasisa, Kumepa, Dorsepa, Lero.